happening, Blades? What is happening? What is happening? We are in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, the greatest cup competition in the world. And yes, I'm into it now. I wasn't before. There's video evidence that proves. First thing I've got to mention, Tommy Doyle. What a player. What a player. He has to be the first name on our wish list if we go up. He is captain material. Talk about taking a game by its scruff of the neck, and what a finish for a winner in a quarter-final. Absolutely brilliant. I've watched. Reason for a delayed ramble is I've watched it back because just to savour it and make sure that it really happened. To be fair, because what a game, what a performance, what an atmosphere. I'm exhausted, absolutely exhausted. So, but I thought it weren't just Tommy. I thought there were loads of good performances. I thought Baldock, as you know, I'm a Baldock fan. Great. Wes made a great double save. Made a couple of good saves, to be fair, in different instances for us today. I thought Sander had a good game. I've mentioned Doyle. I thought Ollie McBurney played really well, not just because he scored, but I thought, particularly first half, really good, really good. Started to tire a little bit. I think Eki alluded to the fact that just before he scored, he were going to switch in for Jebo, but obviously kept on because of his goal. But Iliman and Dye, he's what can you say about him? What can you say about how good this boy is? He's an unreal player. I said in the last one he's too good for the Championship. He's way too good for the Championship. Is he too good for us? Probably, if we're honest. But let's get promoted and see if we've got half a chance of keeping him, because he's the best player I've ever seen in a United shirt. Absolutely unbelievable talent, and will go on to do great things. And on ITV coverage, they did a lovely little piece on him, to be fair, in terms of how ambitious he is, and Eki had a few nice comments for him and things like that. So yeah, he's unreal, and it's great to see. And what that performance confirms to me, and which we already knew and we've talked about previously, is that we're a very good team. So I've been thinking about this loads, especially today. And, you know, I'm regularly saying I wouldn't swap our squad for any in the division, and I wouldn't. But what is that key missing ingredient that stops us from being an unstoppable force because of the talent in the squad, and why don't they play to the maximum? A lot of us had said before that Sunderland game that we haven't played well since Burnley, the 5-2 against Burnley. Obviously, we ground out some results, but I think it's belief. And it's a combination of nerves, because you're being chased down by Borough, and belief in themselves, and the fact that they haven't got the confidence to carry their ability, I suppose, to a degree, because 80% of this is mental, I think, in terms of your mindset and how you set up and how you prepare and how you react in games. And I suppose that's a question that's been hanging over Eki, in terms of why can't he get more out of these players. And the last two games, it has to be said, we have come from behind, and in this game twice come from behind to win, which shows character, resilience. It shows that we've got it in our locker to have that fight within us that we will need if we're going to get promoted, because I've never known a team chase anybody down like Borough are chasing us down. Their form is unreal. And yeah, we celebrated massively that they dropped 2 points. They didn't even lose, they drew, and we're jumping up and down because they're a runaway train. Talk about promotion form. They're on champions elect form, and it's not. They're obviously not going to finish champions, but we have still got to put some really strong performances / results together to get over the line. But you have to remember, this is the team that finished 9th in Premier League. Only thing that's different is the goalkeeper. Obviously, I think we've upgraded right centre-back in Anel. The only thing that still worries me about this team, and I'm not being negative after such an amazing result, but I am trying to be balanced, remember, that left-hand side. Now, Robbo, it was very harsh to give a penalty for that. Well, I can see why they gave it. It's in a natural position, is his arm, but it does stop a goal scoring or a goal bound opportunity with an illegal part of your body. So for me, it were a penalty, no yellow card. That's what I think would have been the correct call. And it's just one of them things. His body were in an unfortunate position. He couldn't really do about it. I think the thing that worries me about Robbo is he then 10 minutes later goes through the back of a player when he's on a yellow card. Well, you're asking to be sent off, and that is reckless, and that's not, it's great that we all love the fact that you're a strong tackler and you get involved and you get stuck in. Love that element of your game, but it's got to be done with rules of the game, particularly if you're on a yellow. And Max Lowe, yes, he was the one that shot to get his first goal today, officially down as an own goal because it was going well off target. That's not my issue. My issue is his defending. Switched off again for their second. It's a weak link. And we had no Kieran Clark on bench. I don't know what that's about, whether he's injured. We had a opportunity to have 9 subs today in FA Cup. No Kieran Clark. No out-and-out sort of sub for Lowe or Robinson if we were suffering down that side. We had Basham and Bogle, but obviously it's wrong side for them. So a little bit concerning. Obviously, the talent in the team's seen us through, so I'm not moaning at all. I'm just counting down the days till Reece is back and available for selection. So on to semis, and of course we've drawn Man City. Up there with Illiman, but our 2 form players at the minute, McAtee and Doyle, can't play. I know some have been sort of speculating online. Oh, well, rules say that if Man City gave permission, then they can potentially play. Well, that used to be a rule. It's no longer in the updated FA handbook. It says the FA will not give permission for loan players to play against the parent club. So Tommy and Maka are definitely out of the semi-final, which is a huge blow for them. Because particularly Tommy, but both, to be fair, are integral to how we're playing in this upturn in form. So the only silver lining we can think of is that it keeps them fresh for league, because they're undroppable at the minute, but particularly Tommy is undroppable. And it does make you wonder where Norwood fits back in. He didn't particularly play the Norwood role, if you like, today. We're a little bit further forward and Sander sat a bit deeper. But I thought he did really well. I don't think it'd go down well at all, bringing Norwood into this side at the moment. And who would have thought we'd have been saying that 10 games ago, because he was probably the player of the season up to that point. Absolutely superb. I still think he's got a lot to offer, but I think at the moment he's rightly just missing out. Another little detail as well, which were well noted on Twitter by, I can't think off the top of my head who it was, but if I can find it, I'll post it here so you can see. Noted that Man U are in Europa Cup on the Thursday of the game week in FA Cup semi-final. So if they're playing in Europa on the Thursday, they will likely, it's very, very likely, their semi-final, which is against Brighton, will be played on the Sunday, meaning our game will be the Saturday game. So don't book your hotels yet, but pencil in Saturday 22nd of April for Man City at Wembley. Can you believe we're saying that? Ridiculous. And with that, the Huddersfield away game gets moved, because that obviously we were scheduled to play that game then. So this is the slight sort of niggle that we had in terms of progressing in the cup. The only sort of one of the few detriments to it would be that we stack up more league games and we accrue games in hand rather than points on the board. And it does mean that Borough will have chance to go above us. If we mirror each other's form, if we do exactly the same as each other, we both get, 7 points out at next 3 games, or however long it is till that fixture, then Borough, when we play City, Borough will have the chance to go level on points with us, and at the moment their goal difference is better, so they would go above us. We'd have 2 games in hand, but they'd go above us that weekend that we play City. Now, it's not as straightforward as that. We both play Burnley, us away, them at home, before 22nd. We go to Norwich, and if we can stay on the same points as them up to the City game, their extra game, their scheduled game, if you like, that we're missing because of the City Cup game, is Luton away. So I'm kind of hoping Luton stay within a sniff of them, and obviously far enough away from us to be within a shot of, what they will think is second spot, but certainly just going as high as they can, within touching distance of Borough when that game comes around, because that is a pivotal game for us. We've got similar fixtures, to be honest, now. Looking at it, they've got Norwich at home and Burnley at home. We've got Norwich and Burnley away. They've got Luton away. We've got West Brom at home. So, and then it's all mid-table for the rest of them. So, the other anomaly with it is, with the fixtures moving, is if the Huddersfield game gets moved, it's likely to go back. And I think the only place it can fit, if you look at the fixtures, is it's the penultimate game of the season then. So it's between Preston at home and Birmingham away, which will mean we actually have 4 games at home on the bounce and then 2 away games. So the game after City is West Brom, so that'll be one of us game in hand done. So we'll have the chance to climb above, even if they have sort of drawn level with us or just gone over us. But then I think we will carry a game in hand until the penultimate game of the season, or to final week at season, if you like. So yeah, all huge ifs and buts. There's so many twists and turns to come, but this just throws an extra spanner. It works for me. So really interesting. And the only other thing I just wanted to very quickly touch on, I know we mentioned in our last video about administration and a potential 12-point deduction. And I sort of tried to pour cold water on it because I thought it were way too... I thought it was scaremongering from Daily Mail. Well, it's actually forced a reaction from the club. I'm sure most of you have seen it by now, but Stephen Bettis has come out and completely rebuffed it. It was quite a strong response. And what I will say is, administration is off the table. We're nowhere near going into administration. But there's a really strong article on it in the Examiner that Nath Hemmingham's done. So rather than steal his thunder and deliver all his news to you on my channel, I'll pop a link in description so you can go there and see it yourself if you haven't already. So what a day. Unbelievable. I know I wasn't up for the cup, but how can you not be now? How can you not be? So gutted for Doyle and McAtee, who won't obviously get a chance to play against the parent club. But who knows? Could we cause the upset of the season, upset of the decade, and stop City from winning FA Cup this year? Who knows? Who knows? But we're unbeaten against them in FA Cup. 4 wins, 2 draws. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we're one at bogey teams like Andy the Blade often talks about. Fingers crossed. Let's just enjoy it. And let's hope by the time that game comes around, we're still firmly in that second spot, ready to go on just for the last couple of league games and and get it all signed and sealed. So come on, you red and white wizards, up the blades. Ramble on.